everyone. It's cold tonight. It's actually been cold all day. It's late October, so we'd expect some coldness. Well, they interrupted you with a lovely hello. But yeah, it's chilly and very cold and breezy today, so it makes it worse. So I'm going to try to do this video. Not sure exactly how it's going to go, but today I'm going to talk about how I ended up getting Ginger, my horse. So I'm going to walk over there, put you down here for a second. I'm sorry for all the background noise. I got a new goat too. So in my last video I mentioned that there have been a lot of changes here, and I kind of feel like that's an understatement. So I ended up getting a male boar goat from the neighbors. They had him and they weren't really sure what they were going to do with him. You know, part of them were like, oh, we could eat them because he's a meat goat, or he could be a pet, or we could sell him. And well, I was the lucky sucker to buy him. So he's really good, but he's loud. So I had him and all my Nigerian dwarves and my pygmy buck. So I had a lot of goats, but I have about 10 of them, and then my horse and my donkey, and then the prospect of a new horse came up, and that's where things got hairy. My husband basically said, and he's right, I can't deny that, but if we are going to get another horse, we have to get rid of some goats or something. Something has to budge. And the opportunity arose. It was kind of a too good of a opportunity to pass, so had to get somewhere. You know, we have 5 acres. Right now we are renting an additional 20, but that wasn't exactly in the cards when all this went down a month ago. So with only 5 acres, especially being in Montana, these animals just go through the grass. They make the pasture really small. I'll show you. But you can just see everyone came to say hi. But there's not a lot of pasture. I mean, you got our ditch that has something, but obviously they're not there, and then you have the pasture. So I decided to say goodbye to the goats. It was sad, but it's a good thing. And so here we are. Okay, so I used to work with a nurse who I've become friends with. Don't mind the donkey again, saying hi. And she's also into horses. So I got to go to her family's ranch and help move some cows and hang out with her a little bit outside of work. And she's a family of 4, and she had 5 horses. This one horse, Ginger, was given to her by a family friend due to illness in the family. There was a teenager that broke Ginger. Ginger was her horse. Child got sick, and therefore they passed the horse on to my friend and her family. Unfortunately, my friend just doesn't really need a 5th horse because they already all had their go-to horses. So Ginger just kind of sat and wasn't used much. But at the end of the day, super sweet soul. She's broke. She knows how to do things. Just was not getting used. And then there was something about a weird foot. Potentially a fused fetlock in the front left. I don't really know. Nothing that seems to be causing any issues though. And I guess this potential issue, I say potential because it had never actually been x-rayed or evaluated by a vet. It was just kind of looked at by a farrier. You know, I had my farrier take a look and trim up her hooves, and not a problem. So we're going with it. So anyway, my friend had said, like, I think kind of as a joke, kind of serious, hey, do you need a horse for your kids? Mind you, my kids are 4, almost 5, and 6. So they're young, but she said kind of how Ginger was, gave me the story, and the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, this could be a really good opportunity. Do I want to pass this up? And then one of the times I went to go move cows, I got to meet Ginger. And again, Ginger has been become a glorified pet, a pasture pet, a 1,200 pound pasture pet for a couple years now, getting ponied around. And I hopped on her bareback. We popped a bit in her mouth. She was really mouthy. She wasn't sure what to think about the bit. But otherwise, she did really good. She did what I asked her to. No bucking, no bolting, just confused about the bit, if anything. So I was like, this could be good. Talked to my husband. That's when he was like, you got to do something with the goats then. You have to. And so I did, figured that out. And then I brought my kids to meet her. And they loved her. What I loved is that they both could walk her around without an issue. They both could hop on her, and I was like, be crazy, go, do weird things in front of her. And they did, and it was not a problem. Of course, my phone is about to die now that I am doing a video. But so I got my kids to meet Ginger. Here she comes. And again, they loved her. So I said, we're going to bring her home. Because my friend basically said, if she's not a good fit, go ahead, bring her back. So I brought her home, got rid of the goats, and I now have a beautiful bay. So she's running here because I'm training them to come to a bucket of grain. And she's a little bit of a chunky monkey. And so she's quite food motivated. But with having a ginormous pasture, I want to train my horses to come to a bucket of grain, which is something that Ginger is used to. Moose is not. So I might shake this. Sorry. I might shake this bucket, and Moose, he's way over there. See if I can zoom in on him. He is, of course, a Palomino, so he blends in really nice. There he is, way out there. Here's Ginger trying to get the bucket. So my biggest issue with her is that she is a puppy. And that's not always a good thing when you're as big as her, because she needs to learn some personal space. Oh, there my boy comes. He's the baby, so he doesn't want to be left out. And he is learning that shaking the bucket means he gets grain. But yeah, she just needs to learn personal space. And I'm working on that with her because she can hurt somebody, especially, I got her to be my kid's horse. So she needs to know how to behave and not get in my... Oh, I'm way zoomed in. Again, we're working on that, but she is doing so much better. I'm so used to this boy who is like perfect for me. And I love him because I raised him as a... Yep. See, that's what we mean. So when a horse does something stupid like that, I've learned if you back him up. It is 2 days later now. I have been slacking on following up with that video, and I realized I need to finish the video. So as you saw, Ginger decided she didn't like Moose. I'm going to go water them right now, so you get to go on a little ride with me. But Ginger decided she did not like Moose and kind of went after him. That is not okay in my book. I know that mares can be more difficult and have an attitude, as opposed to geldings are generally pretty just chill. But in my household, that's not going to happen. Not allowed. One time there was a mare that decided she did not like my gelding, and she lunged after my gelding, Moose, and I ended up underneath her because, I just happened to be in her way, and she just had no respect whatsoever, and it was kind of brushed off as a haha, yeah, she's just a bitch. I have kids. That's not okay. It's not okay for any size person, but definitely not kids. So things like that are what I need to work with on Ginger. As I said, she has kind of learned that she is a pasture pet, lap dog, no personal space. So, my phone dying was a little bit annoying, but it probably happened at the perfect time because horses are like toddlers to a point where if they do something you don't want them to do, you need to nip it in the butt right away. You wouldn't discipline your toddler for something they did on Sunday on Wednesday. You would discipline them on Sunday. So horses are the same way. So I dealt with her, and what I did was every time she wanted a bite out of the bucket, I would back her up, as you kind of saw at the end of that video, and then I would invite her back into my space. So I did that 10 times until she learned, sorry, I'm backing up, that she only gets to get food if I allow her into my personal space, because she got in my personal space by trying to get my gelding moose. So, oh shoot, I gotta back up more. So those are the kind of things that I need to work with on her. Otherwise, she's pretty well broke. I can hop on her and ride her, and she doesn't do anything bad. So, that's the story of Ginger. Just working on her not being a mare so much. You know, she can, what I say is, sorry, everything's beeping because I'm backing up towards stuff. I've always said a mare doesn't have to like something, and that's fine, but they will tolerate it, because in my situation, and I think it should be like this for everyone, safety is my number one goal, and I won't deal with a horse being unsafe. So yeah, that's the story of Ginger. I think at the end of the day, she'll be a really good girl. She'll be great for the kids. She handles all their shenanigans, but obviously has a little bit of work to do, and that's okay. We'll get there. So until next time.